Hey guys, so you might have heard that I am going to travel for 6 weeks. I am gonna go to Bali for 3 weeks solo, and then afterwards I'm heading to China with my best friend. We have a wedding that we're going to there, so that will be pretty fun. But I guess I wanted to talk more about my travel plans, why I'm going, what I'm gonna do when I'm there. If you have been following me since last year, you might have remembered that my 2019 theme was explore and experience. And the reason I moved back home was so I could travel more this year. And I did travel a little bit. I went to Australia, I went to just a bunch of like smaller trips, but this is like the big trip that I have planned for the year. Like I've been wanting to live abroad and work abroad for longer, and I just had certain things that I wanted to do before I went abroad. You know, this year I wanted to launch the pastel notebooks, I wanted to launch the Dream Life course, and I felt like I was working on that kind of stuff a lot of the first half of the year. And I also had to finish the 2020 workbook earlier this year, make sure we have everything set, do the photo shoot early, that way I can leave and travel and not have to worry about like just doing logistical stuff. But if it were up to me, I would travel for longer, for like months. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but there's a reason. Like we have to end it in 6 weeks because I have a work trip. I have to be back in the US for end of October, and that's just how the dates worked out. But anyway, let's talk about the call. Everybody has callings. You might have felt it before, or you might have ignored it. I feel like when you get the call, you might ignore it a little bit, but I've had this calling to work abroad and travel abroad, and I've seen a few friends do it, and I know that it's something that I've wanted to do. My dream life includes traveling around the world and working out of places. And this year I've been very home-based, and I feel like I just can't, I don't know, I've been in one place for too long and I need to move my base, because as an introvert, someone who works from home, I literally do not leave the house. And that's fine because I do enjoy it, I do love it, but I figured if I'm not gonna leave the house, I might as well force myself to go to another place and not leave the house there. But at the very least, I'll get to explore a little bit in that area. I also want to talk about synchronicities, signs from the universe, coincidences that tell you that you're on the right path. So I've had synchronicities a lot in my life. Most of the time it comes in repeating numbers, and I've talked about that before. But once I decided to go on this Bali trip, oh my goodness, so many people I knew either went to Bali or were planning to go to Bali. I know at least like around 10 people that either went, had plans, or whatever. And for example, when I went to Australia earlier this year for like a mini test run, I met up with Jasmine Lipska and Kimberly Wanyalu, who are not friends, they don't know each other, but both of them, after I met up with them, they told me, oh, I plan to travel the world and work abroad for a few months. I think Kimberly's plan was to leave for 9 months, and then Jasmine's plan was travel indefinitely. I mean, it's been 5 months and now she's back in Australia, but it was just a weird coincidence that both of them had those plans and they did it at the same time, and I heard about it. I took that as a coincidence, that I'm like, okay, yeah, this is my travel year. And then the Bali thing, closer I got to my trip, I saw more and more friends post on Instagram that they're there or they're planning to go. And then I got this mail from a brand. This is a floss brand, Coco Floss. And it was just like a normal PR package. And I opened it up and it is a Bali themed brochure about floss and things to do in Bali. It's very random. I mean, I think it's because the floss is flavored. I think it's like coconut flavor, island flavors, and they did a photo shoot in Bali. I just thought that was so strange, because literally out of all the things, all the themes in the world, all the topics in the world, why did I get a mailer about Bali? I kept this just to show you guys that sometimes synchronicity is really funny, and to some people you might be like, okay, it's a random coincidence, it doesn't connect, but I truly don't believe in coincidences. I believe coincidences are signs from the universe telling you something. The chances of these coincidences happening is like 1 in a trillion or something. So the fact that it happens means something. The third reason I'm happy that I chose Bali to go to is I found out something called astrogeography, and this is something that Kimberly Wenya told me about. Basically, hi Coco. Coco's here. Sit. Okay, you can chill here with me. Okay, you can lay down. Lay down, lay down. Lay down, hang out here. Basically, astrogeography is your birth chart correlated with the geography of the world. And I don't fully understand it, but I'll link below a website where you can like map out the geography of your birth chart. But there are basically hotspots on the map of the world, hotspots where if you were to go there, there's more energy and there's more opportunity for you or something like that. Kimberly told me that when she was in Europe, she felt like she had to push herself really hard and she was like forcing herself to work and it just didn't feel natural. And she told me that when she was in LA, she felt like things happened really easy for her and she just created so naturally. She was in flow. And she told me that on her astrogeography chart, there are a lot of intersections and a lot of action going on around LA. And then in Europe, there was like nothing. No lines were crossing through there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And it just so happens that like on my astrogeography chart, there is like a lot of energy happening near Indonesia and the islands near there. Not exactly at Bali, but close enough that I'm just curious if I'll feel something. So some of you might be wondering why I chose Bali as my destination for solo travel. It's mostly because I have been wanting to go there. It's like one of my places I've wanted to go. Many years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I had a friend who was engaged and was gonna have a wedding in Bali, and I was so excited to go, and then they called their wedding off, drama, and I wasn't able to go. So since then, I always thought like, okay, Bali is on my bucket list. Also, Eat, Pray, Love is one of my most influential books. It's the reason I chose Italy to study abroad, and Bali is one of the places that Elizabeth Gilbert went, so duh, I would have to go there. And when I was like following Jasmine Lipska's travels, her Bali stories just got me so inspired and excited, and I kept like every story she posted, I would comment like, oh my god, so pretty, oh my god, this looks gorgeous, it looks amazing. And Jasmine was like, it seems like Bali is calling you, and I was like, you're right, it is. And lastly, I wanted to go to a place where it was naturey and quiet and somewhere where it's not too difficult to get around, somewhere that is not like isolated completely. I still need civilization, like a good balance of civilization and nature. And it turns out that because of Instagram, Bali's had a lot of tourism recently, and it is like a hotspot for digital nomads. So I've had a couple friends who traveled around the world as digital nomads, and they've told me that there's just so like it's so easy as an English speaker to go there and be like a digital entrepreneur, just like because there's so many co-working spaces, there's a lot of people that speak English, and it's relatively, I think, like because there's so many people that do this there, I feel more safe and more comfortable going there. Because if you were to go to like Cambodia or Malaysia or somewhere that like I don't think is as popular, I would be afraid. So Bali is a little, like I like that it's touristy enough, but it's still naturey enough. And it's a good balance of what I'm looking for. So what do I plan to do in Bali? My intention for going is aligned with my 2019 theme of explore and experience. I want to experience more of the world. Obviously, I want to explore. And I also want to give back to myself. It's a place where I want to go to recharge, not be on social media as much. I'm going there to plan my book as well. That's a big thing. I want to go to a space where I have just more room to think, no daily distractions, and something outside of my comfort zone so I can tap into myself. I feel like it's not exactly about going to explore a new place. I believe that exploring a new place allows you to explore yourself. So I'm looking to learn more about myself. I'm looking to hone in on my message for my book. and I want to do a bunch of yoga. I booked an Airbnb like walking distance from a yoga studio so I can really just do yoga and relax, enjoy the atmosphere. But I'm still gonna be working on Lavendaire stuff, uploading videos and working on the launches that are still happening while I'm traveling. So it's not a real vacation per se, but it's more like I get to work while I am abroad. And because I know that I'll probably get lonely, I'll probably have more free time when I'm there because I don't have like Wilson around, I don't have friends around. So I'm planning with my free time to take all the courses that I signed up for that I haven't finished. I have just a list of things that I want to learn and actually do. Things that I've like purchased but actually haven't like either started or finished. So learning, yoga, planning my book, writing, and working on whatever I need to work on for Lavendaire. And of course, exploring and taking photos and making videos and learning about myself when I'm there. That's the goal. All in all, I am excited to change. I'm excited for my life to change. I've been talking about how I'm embracing change this year. I am paying more attention to the little ways that I am changing, both externally and internally, and I accept and invite change. And I also forgot to say, I am going there just learning to trust the universe more, just to be connected and more trusting of just letting things happen and going with the flow. Let the universe be my guide. And I do believe that this is the right decision. I've had all the signs, all the callings, and it would be a disservice to myself. I believe that I would hurt myself if I didn't travel, if I didn't do something like this, because I've been wanting to do it for so long. Like since I was in high school, I put on my bucket list, like, before I'm 30, I want to live in Asia. You know, I put all these things on my bucket list way back when. And like I mentioned earlier, I wish I could stay longer, but I have a commitment that I have to come back for. So maybe when I come back, we'll see how I feel. Who knows what the future holds? I might go back for more. I guess I just want to end this with, if you have a calling, if your heart is telling you to go somewhere, if your heart is pulling you to do something, listen to it. Do it, because if you don't, that's just going to hurt you. It's going to be a regret, or it's just always going to tug at you, and it's always going to be in the back of your mind, and you will never know until you do it. You don't know until you know. And I do believe that there's always a way to make it work. There's always a way to make your dreams work with your circumstances. You just gotta like figure it out. It's a puzzle. Play Tetris. Move things around. Schedule your life around the things that you want to do. So you just got to accept the uncertain, take a risk sometimes. Do something outside of your comfort zone, all the stuff that we've been talking about. But yeah, live it for real, because this is your life and you get to do whatever you want with it. That's that. Love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.